Bibliofools.
Welcome to Bibliofools, everyone. I'm Evan Cannell, here with Kyle Dunshee.
Howdy again, because I'm a cowboy again, and it's relevant this time.
This time it makes sense.
This time it makes
and
sense.
And McKylan Rowe. This is Bibliofools. This is, in case you didn't know what it was, that's what it is, and it's a show where we read books so you don't have to, because you don't really want to read them, because reading takes a long time. So use the time that we're giving you back to spend with the people you love. Save the world in that time. Fix malaria. Leave the books to us. Because as we'll find out, sometimes books tear your heart out and then kick it in the balls as hard as they can, and you never recover.
I love that imagery of someone taking the heart out and then kicking it in the heart's balls. It's not your balls, it's the heart's balls that are getting kicked. That's how this book felt. Yeah.
This book kicked my heart's balls. Oh, man.
And we lost McKylan.
I swear to fucking God.
You're back.
And we're back.
What is Ethernet? What does that do?
It's a cord that you shove up your hiney, and then it makes your lights go bleep, bleep, bleep. And then you're a robot man. And if you plug it in your computer, it makes your internet go faster.
That's what I thought.
Which one did you do?
I shoved it up my ass. Oh, wait. Let's do this. Okay. Ethernet connected.
One of those was a joke. The other one.
I mean, you're coming through nice.
Yeah, you're actually coming through
I
great
was.
now.
And then you read the thing, and then I disappeared.
Feel like you're HD right now. Kyle, you feel that way?
Yeah, he looks better than he's ever looked before. I can see all your pores, and they are beautiful.
Thank you. I'm always HD.
What?
You guys don't get it.
No, we don't.
You guys just don't get me, man.
We're supposed to be talking about a very depressing book.
That's right. Get sad.
Is it working? Am I coming through clear? Oh, guys, today is okay. Let's just do a moment here on record. I love you guys so much. I was like, there's no chance in hell that I'm not gonna chat with my buds, my boys, because it's been like 2 weeks. I was like, I haven't read the book, and then this wasn't working, but I was like, it'd be good. I'll get to chat with my guys. All right, it's working now.
All right, well, where we left off, we were getting our heart's balls kicked as hard as a book can do that, perform that.
It's a funny visual. I appreciate it. I appreciate you throwing it in there. It's accurate.
You're welcome. Well, today's book was inevitable. At some point, we were going to read a book by the legendary Cormac McCarthy, and the one Kyle chose was The Crossing, which is book 2 of the Border trilogy, which is technically a sequel. We keep doing this, where we jump in to a trilogy.
Yeah, we always go for the middle chapter, except for Jurassic Park. That's the one time.
Yeah, we did get there.
That's true. Yeah, we did start on the first one. Although it is a sequel, it's technically, it's not connected to All the Pretty Horses at all, which is book 1 of the Border trilogy. And there's a third one, but none of them are connected, right? They're just sort of 3 books about borders.
Actually, as I understand it, the third one is connected. It brings in the people from the first 2. So thank goodness we didn't read the third one, because then it would have actually been confusing.
So this is actually much more connected to 50 Shades Darker, where allegedly the story ends.
Allegedly.
And we didn't get to see that.
Yeah. So we didn't need much context other than this takes place on the border of the United States and Mexico.
It sure does.
A super calm place. Super just, relaxed, non-political.
Yeah. I mean, and this book takes place right before World War II. So what would that be?
30s.
30s. Thank you. History buffs.
That was when the Mexico-United States border was like a contentious place with lots of conflict.
Yeah,
but it's better now.
Oh, way back then, yeah.
Way back then. It's better now.
Hard to imagine that
I haven't
today.
been keeping up with... I don't read the news. Is something going on?
No.
There's like a lot of hubbub.
Is there... I don't know. I heard about this Epstein guy.
What Epstein guy?
I don't know. The financier?
There is no Epstein guy. Remember, all the news has been telling us there was nothing going on there.
Don't you read the paper?
Remember?
It's not a thing anymore. It was a thing, and now it's not a thing, and that's how things work.
I read a paper, but I wrote it myself with ChatGPT. Just a lot of slurs.
There's a lot of weird slurs.
Yeah, but like old-timey slurs.
I was about to say
We're going to
so,
get
but
into old-timey slurs today. No, we're not. The book follows a young boy who embarks on a quest of mercy to return a captive she-wolf to the wild. Who's going to do it? Who's going to do Shakira?
Isn't she wolf?
I didn't know that's a thing.
You don't know She Wolf by
No.
Shakira?
Let it out so breathe. What the hell are you guys talking about?
She-Wolf by Shakira.
No,
Shakira, Shakira.
I've only heard the song about hips. That's
Every song of hers is about hips in a way. Let's be honest.
even the one about the she-wolf, which apparently exists.
The She-Wolf has
Yeah,
hips. Yeah.
The she-wolf's in your closet.
I don't like that at all. I'm
What
not
else
gonna.
would you want in your closet? You know, just like a sad Mike Pence. No, you want a She-Wolf.
I mean,
You don't-
I'd take the she-wolf over sad Mike Pence, but that's just me.
Agreed. Every day of the week. He returns the she-wolf to the wild, or he attempts to, after which everyone he knows and loves is ripped brutally from his life, and his life becomes a Groundhog Day-like horror show, where he crosses the border repeatedly into Mexico, experiences soul-crushing tragedy, and then goes back to America until it's time to cross the border again, and gradually becomes a jaded and bitter young man.
Yep.
Fun.
Good
That's the
summary.
story.
That's the story.
Lovely.
Kyle, why this one? Why did you choose this one? Why did you do this to me?
That's a great question. Cormac is probably one of the, if not top 3 greatest writers of our generation, easy. I've read a lot of his other books, and I've really liked them, and I've also walked away. The first one I read was Blood Meridian, which is insane. And my grandpa recommended it to me. My grandpa, the sweet Mormon patriarch, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a sweet book, and it's like one of the most violent books I've ever read. That's what Cormac does. Cormac shocks you and breaks your heart, and this is one that I had, so I didn't have to buy a book this time, and so that's why I chose it, because it was on my shelf already, and it was by an author I love.
Easy on the pocketbook.
Easy on the pocketbook, yes. Not easy on the
The
heartstrings.
pocketbook.
Man, oh man. Okay, well, yes, from the mind that gave us Anton Chigurh, the greatest villain of all time. I've only seen the movie. I haven't read No Country for Old Men, but
I actually haven't read or seen either. But I would
Good
argue,
movie.
oh boy.
I would argue the judge in Blood Meridian is a better villain.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Whoa.
The Judge, the movie with Robert Downey Jr., where his father is a judge who maybe committed a...
No,
Wow.
that I've never heard of that either.
You've never heard of The Judge?
No.
With Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall
Do you like Robert Duvall?
and Vincent D'Onofrio and Jeremy Strong. Somebody stop me. What are we doing?
No,
Please
that's
stop.
great. Those
For
are
the love of God, stop.
Here we go. All right.
We're talking about something else.
We're going page by page of the Judge.
the judge. No, the judge is one
We're
of the.
pivoting.
The judge may or may not be Satan.
Title card, The Judge. Fade to black.
Stop. We must stop. We have a whole The Crossing to do.
All right, we'll tell the listeners now. I'm in a bad mood. I'm tired.
You're always in a bad mood.
Fair enough. Never mind. You don't need to know anything. No context needed. Continue. 13
Except-
bullet synopsis.
Except when we did Jurassic Park. That might be the happiest I've ever heard you.
That's true. You were pretty happy when we did Jurassic Park.
It did itch. It itched my little shithead brain.
Amazing. All right. Well, the story is set in the rugged, desolate borderlands of New Mexico and Mexico during the late 1930s, a time when the Old West is fading out, but its harsh realities remain. The landscape itself is a character in the book, vast, unforgiving, and indifferent to the struggles of those who cross it. It's a world where the laws of nature are absolute, contrasting sharply with the man-made border that separates the structured modern world of America from the mythic, often lawless, and untamable wilderness of Mexico.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Does that, so for you guys, I feel like there is this big, it's a big part of like a Western. This is, Cormac kind of made, not a version of the Western, right?
Yeah, he has his own take on it for sure.
And it's very bleak, but it's like almost realism. What is your guys' take on, like, when you're reading it, what are you taking away from it? Why is it so intoxicating, especially to Cormac?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. For me, I don't think it's overtly bleak as it is just like realistic to this kind of lifestyle. And that's what makes it more depressing is it's not someone who's like, and then this bad thing happened, and then this bad. It's like, no, these things could all happen. These things are all realistic things that could happen to someone in this situation. But I mean, what keeps me going every time I'm reading a Cormac book is the way he writes, and the prose and the poetry within each sentence that really makes you think. So I don't know. That's something unique to Cormac. He could write a book about a dog taking a shit, and I would love it because I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so beautifully written.
Pretty sure a couple dogs take shits in this book.
It's
I think
hinted
that
at.
is actually true.
I think that's actually a real thing that happens, and I loved it.
Wait.
It does.
Yeah.
There's a whole canine thing. There's like a whole symbolic canine. We'll get into it.
He loves it. He loves getting into an animal. Hold
yeah.
on. He loves to focus on an animal, cut it open, get in there. You know, like a tauntaun.
This is an epic poem.
Yeah.
This is like a Homer level epic poem. It's a Western, like you were saying, McKylan, but it takes place like too late for old Western justice. It's sort of like the modernizing world. So it feels out of place, but it's Western characters doing Western things in a Western setting, but sort of like not, it's too late. It's not the golden old West. So it just falls apart.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good summary.
When Kyle, when you suggested it, this did make me think of, I don't know if you guys have this feeling, but it does feel super uncomfortably like relevant. Like we're living in the husk of something. Like this is a husk of a Western. where
Yeah.
just the realism
There's
makes it bleak. It's
Absolutely.
Not, he's not doing anything that's like, he's not making it bleaker than it needs to be. It's the realism is really the scary part. Of
Absolutely.
The bleakness.
Yeah, I think so too. And I guess the whole Border trilogy takes place in this era where like the West is going away, but people are still living this way and trying to move forward in a way that they know, and it's just not the world they're living in anymore. And so it's uncomfortable in that way. And in a lot of weird parallels, I feel that I'm like the world we grew up in is not going to exist anymore for our kids, and we want to continue moving forward like it is, but it's just not. And so it is uncomfortable. That's a very good parallel.
Yeah. Here's the trouble with a quick aside here. This book is not a read fast book.
No,
We really should have taken our time.
absolutely.
Half of it's in Spanish. Okay, not half, but there's enough of it in Spanish that you got to get your little translator out that I just missed. I hope it didn't say anything significant in there. Like, I don't
that's
know,
part of
maybe
it.
some of the parts would have made more sense.
But
I'm just skipping over the Espanol, hoping.
Yeah, and you're right,
Why?
and that's part of it. And there's a lot of Spanish conversations that he does not translate because, like, you want to.
Character doesn't know.
Yeah, well, weirdly enough, the character does know. The character speaks Spanish, but the reader is as uncomfortable as the character in certain situations because it's just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm missing something. I'm clearly missing something, but life goes on.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, that's
Cormac's like, I'm going to drag you across this border. I'm going to put a bunch of words you don't know
Yeah.
on the page.
You're too afraid to. You can do it, but you can't translate it fast enough, so you're just missing something.
Exactly. Yeah. Even, I mean, I had the translator app for a good half of it, and then I gave up because it was just so damn frustrating. Every other page pulling out the translator app. But even with that, it's like, yeah, I'm still missing something because I'm not reading it as it's supposed to be written.
It's foreign. Wow, I didn't think about that. Ah, genius.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Isn't he so
Cormac
freaking good?
McCarthy. Oh my goodness. Well, our story follows two teenage brothers living a Spartan life on their family's ranch, trying to carve out an existence in a harsh environment. Billy Parham. This is the main character, the 16-year-old protagonist. Well, okay, an average of 16 years old. I think when it starts, he's 13, and when it ends, he's 20. He's capable, determined, and possesses a deep, almost spiritual connection to the natural world. We also have Boyd Parham, Billy's younger brother. He's quieter, more intuitive, and often seems to possess a grim, fatalistic understanding of the world that's beyond his years. And we have the she-wolf, not in your closet.
No, just a she-wolf.
A pregnant wolf.
And her hips lie.
They're lying all the time.
Her hips are having a hard time. The she-wolf has a hard time this whole damn book.
She should. She's
Like every
pregnant,
other
she's a
character.
wolf.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen to man wolves.
No, their hips are as honest as possible.
At least 70% on the dollar more honest.
Yeah. On the dollar.
So the she-wolf is pregnant. She crosses north over the border from Mexico and becomes the catalyst for Billy's first journey. She's portrayed not as a simple beast, but a creature of immense intelligence. Those are our characters. That's really what we got. We also have several eclectic characters that sort of show up along the way and offer profound wisdom about the cold injustice of the desert gods.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I-
very Cormac.
I love these characters that pop up. They're almost like sages. Like if you've played the Ocarina of Time, you come across these sages that give you wisdom throughout, and that's how these guys felt, but just depressing as hell.
The universe of this book is like the John Wick world, except instead of everybody being an assassin, everybody is a spirit guide.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's what John Wick is. Like, I feel like every character in John Wick is a spirit guide that he has to murder so his spirit can live on.
unfortunately,
The guidance is his murder.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's like a lady with a stroller. She's like, tick-tock, John Wick.
man.
those
Same
movies are
thing is
great.
happening here.
It's like, it feels so deep, but then you look at it and it's like, this is a weird fucking fable
You know what? So
about like the angel of death.
this is a huge aside, and we shouldn't talk about this, but my grandpa, who recommended these books to me, and was like, shortly before he died, I went over to visit him. He's like, I saw the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And this is a guy who loved movies. And he's like, they were just killing for killing. And I'm like, what was it? He's like, his name was John Candle or something. And I'm like, you saw John Wick and you didn't like it? He's like, they just kill the whole time. There's no story. I'm like, if you walk into the middle of a John Wick movie, I can see why you're thinking that. If you see that on TV, you're just like, why is everyone just
What's
dying
going
all the time? Anyway.
Yeah, so instead of shooting him, it's like, oh, he's like, sees a kid cross the street, and it's like, that's a fun little detail, and then it's like, little do you know, we're going to be here for 5 pages, and the kid's going to be telling him all about the symbolism of the soul.
It's very philosophical. It's the most philosophical of all Cormac's books I've read, in my opinion.
Okay. This is the first one. This is my maiden voyage. It popped my my Cormac cherry, so to speak. So
Sure did. That's such
so far so good.
such a gross term.
Popped your cherry.
What does it mean? No, I'm just kidding. I know what it means. I just
Just
kidding.
Kyle's entire sexuality may be in the closet with the she-wolf.
Yeah, I just think anything that I'll quit while I'm at it.
Well, the story kicks off when the she-wolf begins killing cattle on the Parham Ranch. Driven by a mix of duty and deep fascination, Billy becomes obsessed with capturing her. Using antique traps and esoteric scents left by a legendary local trapper, who they never find. He's just gone.
Yeah.
He left behind all his scents. He begins an intricate and prolonged duel of wits with the animal. The wolf proves to be an incredibly cunning adversary, repeatedly digging up and disabling Billy's traps. This challenge only deepens Billy's respect, transforming the hunt into a profound, almost personal contest.
This is the exact same plot in a weird way as Something Wicked This Way Comes or whatever the fuck.
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
Elaborate.
2 kids. One is an innocent sweetheart or whatever the fuck. One is, he's quieter. He's more intuitive. He's more grim. Something strange comes into their town, and they have a battle of wits with it. It's the same. And there's a mysterious character who leaves behind something that they use to fight the thing with. No? Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong on this
Super
one.
similar. Am I reaching? I'm just saying that. Okay, literally everything I just said.
Okay, yeah.
You remember that part of Something Wicked This Way Comes where they're trying to trap a wolf, but they can't
when
do it?
they're fighting a fear demon. What's so different?
Okay, I guess when you start looking at it and you start reading the words
something
on the
comes into their
page.
town after a guy that's mysterious leaves something behind.
And that's
Are
what
you kidding
happens
me?
because before the she-wolf pops up, an Indian just pops up, a Native American, and they just kind of hang out with him for a bit, and then the she-wolf. Okay, that's weird.
That does
Vindication.
happen.
yeah,
Man,
I'll give it to you, Mac.
who knew all the super tragic shit that happens for the rest of the book was just an allegory for killing your demons with happiness and joy?
There's no happiness and joy in this book. Let's get into it.
Billy finally succeeds in trapping the wolf. However, when he confronts the captured animal, wounded and defiant, he's unable to kill her. Instead, in a decision that changes the course of his life, he muzzles her, puts her on a lead, and begins a dangerous and unauthorized journey to return her to her home in the mountains of Mexico. The first crossing is a brutal odyssey where he forms a deep, unspoken bond with the wolf while facing starvation, harsh weather, and encounters with strange, often dangerous people, and a lot of people that just give him a lot of sage wisdom along the way.
Yeah. And when he makes the decision to capture the wolf, it feels so impulsive because it is. And you're like, that's sweet, but it's stupid. A lot of what Billy does is very foolish. And I kept thinking, you're not the smartest guy, but I'm like, but you're 16 and you're just trying to figure out your life and you're just leaning into mercy.
13.
13. Is he 13 at this point?
13 at this point.
Okay, yeah. So he's just a kid, and so he's really just taking it a second at a time as he tries to wrangle this wolf and then take her back. And I think he knows it's kind of a dumb quest, but he's like, I just got to do it. It's just something I got to do. And it's not easy by any means. And people see this kid walking around with a wolf and they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, just returning it to Mexico. And they're like, that's insane. And he's like, you got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Hold on. He's just walking around like with a lady on a chain?
It's
A wolf.
It's a wolf.
You said oh, it's an actual animal.
Did you not know
This whole time you thought he was trying to catch Shakira?
I thought that this was some sort of weird thing where like a she-wolf was some sort of like term. And I was like, they're really just letting this go.
What would she-wolf be?
I thought it was like a woman who's come from the border, like, because they call wolves people who
they call them coyotes.
The oh my God, that's what it is. Oh shit, that makes so much more sense. You guys kept calling it an it, and I was like, okay, I missed something. But it's Cormac McCarthy.
That's
so it's
crazy.
Like, that's wow.
No, man,
All
it's a literal wolf. It's a female wolf who's pregnant. It just blew your mind.
All right, continue.
The
I'm just kidding.
whole premise is just, it's totally different now. It's an animal. You were like, when is the
So what's wrong with
when
this?
is the immigrant smuggler gonna talk?
I was just like,
does
this
she
is
have
just
anything
such
to
a
say?
wild story. Okay, wow. All right. Oh my God, that's crazy. So it's okay.
So yeah, it's an odyssey where he's on his horse, and dragging behind his horse is this very pregnant wolf. And it's weird because this isn't like freaking Neanderthals and caveman. This is the 1930s.
I'm sorry. I can't get over the fact that when I said that he muzzles the she-wolf and leads it along on a chain, you were like, it's got to be a human.
That's where I started getting a little bit like,
Oh.
what kind of book is this? But I was like, it's the 1930s. They were terrible people.
Yeah, but
fable. I was like, oh, maybe it's about him like learning the harsh reality of like everybody's a person. Like she gets a name at the end. I was like, what's happening?
In hindsight, this book is not as dark as I thought. Because
my reading was way worse.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, so when I said that the she-wolf was killing cattle,
what did you think?
Confused. I was confused. This again. I was just like, I didn't read it. I'm missing something.
And he was catching her in traps, as you do with a human being.
A Mexican she-wolf that was pregnant was killing cattle, and they're not referring to them as anything but an animal. I was like, God, this is tough. This is tough stuff. Oh, boy.
in Remarkably Bright Creatures, how long did you spend thinking the octopus was like just a friendly guy
Just a dude at the aquarium.
in the aquarium?
Well, we did a lot better job of explaining that it was an animal. You guys
What?
referred to the
It's
she-wolf as a
she-wolf.
she-wolf.
It's a wolf. It's a
and
like it's a female wolf. That's what they're called.
Yeah, but we did the Shakira thing, and that made me confused. I'm going to mute my mic and just go through the story, and I'm just not going to talk for a while.
You know what? I blame this on Shakira. I blame this solely on Shakira.
We said Shakira. We were talking about Shakira and the she-wolf. I just started picturing a person.
You guys did the Shakira bit, which I didn't understand, and it confused Mac. And now
Here we are. For our celebrity casting of this book, though, we gotta put Shakira as the she-wolf.
please, it's like she's doing motion cap at least, right? Like,
And Lewis Pullman playing two de-aged versions of Billy and Boyd.
Billy.
It's a dual role.
Yeah.
And Shakira is playing a
Wow.
CGI wolf, but she's playing the wolf, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
doing
Every time the
motion
wolf
capture.
gets like moves, she's like, ah.
The wolf does squirm around a lot because it's very uncomfortable, and it does make sounds that I'm assuming sound a little bit like, like a little bit of that. So.
Okay.
It's a dog. It's a wolf. It's an animal.
This is an animal.
It's canine.
Wonderful.
Canis lupus.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, fantastic, Mr. Fox.
I only know the line because of that.
Okay, so Billy is successfully leading an actual wolf
Yes.
through town, and everybody's looking at him like, you're a weirdo.
Exactly.
Because,
Back to Mexico, where she belongs.
fair enough, both things are weird. Either way, if I saw a kid who was like a 13-year-old with a wolf tied to his horse, and he's like, "It belongs in Mexico," I'd be like, "Oh, all right, buddy."
God damn.
All right, buddy.
Like the level
Oh,
of
man.
weirdness is actually not that crazy.
Yeah, and Billy's not the most social. He's not great with words, so they're just like, "What are you doing?"
So it's just a big psycho, just like carrying a wolf, being like, "I need to take it back to Mexico."
He's just like, "I
Yeah.
got this here wolf. Got to take her across the border," and they're like, "You're gonna die." He's like, "Perhaps." Okay.
That's
let him-
that's Billy in a nutshell.
Let him.
He's like very soft spoken.
Yeah.
Not a lot of words
No.
needed.
A Vincent D'Onofrio type, if you will.
Yeah, and if you think he's soft
If
spoken,
you will.
wait till you meet Boyd, who can barely talk. Apparently, it doesn't matter.
The journey ends tragically in a small Mexican town where the wolf is confiscated by corrupt local authorities and thrown into a dogfighting pit for sport. After watching her get mauled, Billy is unable to bear her suffering any longer. In a moment of terrible mercy, he steps into the pit and is forced to shoot her himself. Heartbroken, he trades his father's rifle, his most valuable possession, to reclaim her body, which he then carries into the mountains for a respectful burial.
This part is about as heartbreaking as it sounds because we've followed a good 100 or so pages of his journey with the wolf. It gets taken. They put it in like a freaking carnival for a bit, which is kind of brutal, which is weirdly kind of like Something Wicked This Way Comes, but we're not going to talk about that. And then they throw it into
Dang it.
a dog fight where dogs are just trying to kill it. And eventually, oh, it's so sad. And so at this point, I'm like, what's he gonna do? He's not in his country. He's some kid. How does he gain control of this situation? And he just shoots the wolf to try to be merciful. It's so very sad.
This is the first time that he gets burned by going along with authority figures.
Yeah.
Was that a thing?
They confiscate the wolf, and he's like, okay, well, I'll just stick around. I'll fill out whatever paperwork I need to. I'll, work here for a little bit if you need like money to trade the wolf. Like, I'm just here to do whatever to get the wolf back so I can take it back to its home. And then they're like, we're gonna be dogfighting with it actually, and. So he gets like he had the rifle. He just didn't know what to do. He didn't realize this is the like lawless South, and then he just the whole quest falls apart.
Yeah.
It's the thing that it's interesting because All the Pretty Horses is kind of like this as well, where it's a coming of age story through Cormac McCarthy is about a loss of innocence. It's not about like it really highlights the loss of innocence. It's not about learning something new that makes you better. It's about losing something and you accept it. And that's
Yeah.
I think that's the
Very, very
bleak
good.
part of it, which I think we all kind of feel that. That's why he's such a good it's such a good fable, but I think it's not these kind of stories don't like stand the test of time in a sense because people don't want to believe that about themselves. But that's from what I'm understanding. Maybe you guys can enlighten me, but like
Yeah.
No, you basically nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it. I think it's interesting, and that he just kind of goes along with it the whole time. You're like, you got to do something, Billy. Like if you want the wolf back, you can't just kind of sit back and hang around and wait for it to happen. And then finally, when he does something, it's like the most tragic point in the book, and he's broken about it. Like he's absolutely torn up, as you can imagine. And there's, the end of the chapter when he lays the wolf to rest. It's one of the most beautifully written things like I've ever read, as it just kind of eulogizes this wolf, and it's so heartbreaking. Like you just feel it so intensely, and that's why Cormac is so good.
Yeah. Yep. He puts you there. Talks about like the little wolves still moving around.
Yeah,
In her belly and stuff. It's just very sad.
very sad.
I did have a question.
And now
for you guys reading this part,
Yeah.
because you guys keep saying it's sad. Did you guys do what I do, where you like overly connect with the main character? Like, what was the experience with this part?
Yeah. At this part, if I'm being honest, I was trying to figure out what this book was about. I was like, we're really far into this book, and so far he's just like failed to return a wolf. I'm like, what's the central conflict of this book? And also I was like, I thought the wolf thing was going to last longer. And I'm like, it's just dead? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I hadn't quite connected to the character. It was towards the end after I realized like, oh no, watching him, like you said, lose his innocence, that's what the plot is. That it was like, by the end, I was in stitches. Every time it was explaining what was happening, I was just like, just heartache, like it feels not good but also you're like, this is it feels important somehow. I'm like, man, all this like I just like send emails and I'm like, life is just it's so sad. Anyways.
Yeah, no, you're right, because it's not like a very conventional story. Because after the wolf dies, you're like, the book could be over, like that could be it. But it's just the first stage of like how life is, where it's like the first time it really gets you down. You're like, okay, how am I going to recover from this? And then you do a little bit, but then something else comes up. And so that's the scary realism of it, is that things are just going to keep coming up. And this is just the first stroke of many for sad, sad Billy.
Sad Billy, who's now alone and adrift. After burying the wolf, Billy wanders aimlessly through Mexico. He eventually stumbles on a ruined town and meets its sole inhabitant, an ex-Mormon caretaker.
Pretty cool.
This is fun.
Yeah.
He's like, I used to be a Mormon. I'm like, I used to be a Mormon. This guy gets it. The caretaker tells him the long philosophical story of a heretic who lived in the rubble of a church, arguing with God. The heretic believed God needed a worthy adversary to have true meaning, and that the witness could not survive the witnessing. The caretaker concludes that all stories are one story, and that the world itself is not a thing of stone and blood, but is a tale, planting the seeds of a new, more complex understanding of reality in Billy's mind. So that reads from the book as confusing as what I just said.
Yeah.
It's quite deep.
It's very deep, and it's so good, but like you have to reread a lot. Like I had to reread a lot, be like, what are you talking about, bro?
Wait, just try to sum it up for me.
So he is the caretaker of this like ruined church.
There was an earthquake,
and
and it destroyed the church, and he's like the sole caretaker, him and some cats.
Well, I mean, sum up what he's saying. What the confusing part, like what it means.
He tells this story of like there's this guy who basically life just beat down and took everything from, and this guy's left with like his sole mission is to just like rail against God, and so he goes into the church and he's trying to like bring down the church with his heresy or whatever, and he's just like yelling at God and like pacing around and muttering. And so he tells the story, and then he's like, and there was this priest who like in his hubris saw God in everything, and if God is in everything, then God is in nothing. And then you find out the guy that's talking, this ex-Mormon caretaker, was the priest, and that the guy finally like the church doesn't fall, but like as the heretic is dying, he realizes that like he was there to be an opposition to God, because God has no opposition, but to exist you have to have opposition, because if nothing opposes you, you're just like sort of a force of nothing. And that the heretic's tale is like everyone's tale, and there's only ever one tale to tell. And that's what he learned from like the heretic, is that God is the witness, and without the witness there's no reality. That's the best I can do.
That was
man.
really
It's
good.
tough.
That was actually very, very good. And I mean, this is his whole story that he tells is something that you could dissect and study at length for a very long time and really get into. I loved, this was my favorite sage, just because, you know, we were brought up in Utah as, you know, in a Mormon culture. And at one point he says, this guy, he's like, I was Mormon, then I wasn't Mormon, and then I was Christian, and now I'm just me. And I'm like, that feels very relevant to me, that like, these are all just names, these are all just titles, you know, you're just you, and that's sacred. And so I mean, and then I love this part a lot. Initially, I was like, what the hell is happening? But then thinking about it more, this whole book, the more I thought about it, the more I really, really liked it.
That cleared up for you?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Cool. Much sense.
No,
as
that's
it
interesting. That's it's yeah, it's interesting. It's just such a McCarthy thing. I mean, it's weird. It's funny because I called a shot. I was like calling
You
a
sure
three.
did.
I was like, outfield.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I want to ask you guys how you felt about it. I feel like we got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do a couple more sagely advice little sections here.
This is it's a deep one, Kyle. It is such a Kyle
So
book.
deep.
It is
It
deep.
is such a Kyle book.
It's deeper than I anticipated. And like Evan said, I wish we had more time to spend on this one, because you could like savor every word, as douchey as that sounds. Like, it really is something that you can read methodically and think about for a very long time.
It's important to remember that this is like an epic poem, you know, and it's not a depiction of real life? Because so far you have a rogue 13-year-old that stole his dad's gun and of his own accord decided to take a wolf to Mexico and has been gone for weeks. And this guy's like, come into my pueblo and eat these tortillas. And I'm going to tell you a story about the lonesome desert gods and their unjust tale is only one tale. And I'd just be like, people don't do that.
No.
It's not like real.
I feel like that's what kids do, though, right?
Yeah.
Like that is, if you think back to when you were 13, anytime somebody said anything that seemed a little bit weighty, you're like, yep.
Yeah, if Billy
You know
was,
what I mean?
if he was 40 in this book, he'd be like, dude, you don't know shit. Like, shut up. Shut
Yeah,
up.
if he was
Like,
40, he'd
what are
be
you
like,
talking
how do I even know where this wolf is from? Why am I taking it to Mexico? What is wrong
yeah.
with me?
The guy would be like, let me tell you a tale. He'd be like, let me leave, so I don't have to hear that. And
Yeah.
it'd be
How about
over.
no,
To go.
weirdo?
How about-
home. Mac, you live in New York. Have you ever met somebody on the subway that tried to tell you like their philosophy, like how life worked?
Guys, this is my life story. The amount of times I tried to get a wolf from Hell's Kitchen to Queens, and next thing you know, some Dominican gentleman is telling me his life story, and I'm just like, I think that he's mad at God. It's happened enough times that this is a joke, but it has happened. What are you gonna do? That's life.
Amazing. Well, like it always goes for you, Mac, when that occurs in New York. When Billy finally returns to his family's ranch, he makes the horrific discovery that his parents have been murdered and the family horses have been stolen.
Yep. That's what happens.
It's like how it always goes.
He comes home finally, able to face reality, I guess, and reality just kicks his heart in the balls. Well,
Right in the balls.
like it could not
Although-
be worse.
When he's talking to the sheriff about it, he's like, did they have a gun to defend themselves? And he's like, yeah. He's like, where was the gun? He's like, well, I kind of had it in Mexico. And the sheriff's like, wonder if things would have been different if they had the gun.
Yeah.
So that's fun
Oh,
for him to think about.
it's so sad. I mean, like you're gone. You go on this impulsive journey that ends tragically for you, and you come home, and your parents have been brutally murdered.
It's just like Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Exactly the same.
All right, guys. I didn't read the book before I said that. Okay, don't punish me for guesses.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So his younger brother, Boyd, is the sole survivor left alive but deeply traumatized by the event. The life they knew has been utterly destroyed, leaving them orphaned and dispossessed in an indifferent world. So that's it. They're just starting over. They have no parents, and they're real young, and they don't really know what to do next.
Yeah, and Boyd is staying like with these nice people who have taken him in after his parents' brutal murder that Boyd may or may not have witnessed the entire thing. We don't know what led up to it. Boyd has seen some dark stuff though, and he doesn't let on to it. So now Boyd is he's with these people, he's trying to make a life, and then Billy shows up, he's like, let's go. Like it's time to go. You're my brother. Let's go.
So they steal all the people's stuff, and they mount up on the dad's horses and say, let's go get the rest of the horses that the outlaws stole. So really, it's like they have nothing, and vengeance just kicks in. Billy's like, well, okay, next thing to do, we go find the people that killed our parents, we steal their horses, and we get justice.
Yeah.
So they set off for the second
So
crossing.
this is just an origin story for horrible people. You're just watching, like, not even an anti-hero. It's just you're witnessing somebody become a bad person.
Yeah, I mean,
Not like
Yeah.
judgmentally, like just
but yeah, they're not on the right track. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It's very adolescent of like teenage boys to be like not think about it and be like, well, we got to go kill these people. Like that's very immature of a thing to do, and so obviously they do it. That seemed realistic to me.
Their quest leads them to reclaim some of the horses, but also embroils them in new dangers. Along the way, they rescue a young, vulnerable girl, human girl.
Human girl.
Nick. So, from the clutches of two menacing men, adding a new, complicated responsibility to their already perilous journey.
Yeah, it's darker than you make it seem. They come across this little girl. She's 14. She's clearly been abused. And then they find her again with these old men. And so Boyd and Billy kind of instinctively be like, okay, like without even communicating, they're just like, well, we're going to rescue this girl. So Boyd leads the bad guy's horses away, and Billy takes her and they end up with her, just very unintentionally saving this girl.
They keep impulse doing the right thing
which is surprising.
when it's very dangerous to do so.
Yeah, because now they got these guys after them. So, and they don't have a clue. They don't know what they're doing. They're just in Mexico looking for horses with a girl they just rescued.
Fight a nickel for every time. This part feels the most plotty. Everything else felt very fably, and now it's kind of just like, okay, so like if I want to assign this thesis that I've been going on where it's like these guys, we're watching the loss of innocence, it's kind of like taking a pause to be like, okay, so here's what's going on. Some time has passed. Like this is kind of like not a prologue. It's like a montage.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is like in any movie, this would be the montage of like, anyways, a couple years happened.
Yeah, it's very accurate.
Uh-huh. That's kind of how it goes. Just for context, we're 3/4 of the way through the book, and it gets plotty right now.
Yeah, that's seriously.
Very McCarthy. That's
Very
it's
McCarthy.
all vibes, and he's like, all right, so some shit went down. Anyways, kid's parents are dead. That's his brother.
Classic
bitches.
McCarthy.
Classic McCarthy.
So
Classic McCarthy. Well, that's our next shirt.
You
Classic
little dog.
McCarthy.
Yeah, we're making T-shirts now. We have two. One says Classic McCarthy, and the other one is Honey Bunches of Oats doesn't care about the dick comment.
And the third one is Don't Yuck the Yum. I thought that's the one you were going for.
Oh, yep, that's the other.
Not that.
It just says don't, and then the back, yuck my yum.
Guys forgot about the first one, Tickles to Nickelback.
Oh yeah,
God.
Tickles for Nickelback.
I'm just for how much I talk.
Memory lane.
Just can't put a sentence together, can I?
It's just a recurring. We just talk about what kind of shirts we want to have,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited for the day that we can make real shirts
Yeah, do you guys?
at scales
Does
that
anybody have $10?
don't lose us a
No,
lot of money. Because you got to sell a lot of shirts before it makes sense to print the shirts.
Yeah.
So as soon as we have that many people ready to buy shirts, we're gonna
do a giveaway
we're
of
gonna
one
make-
shirt at a time.
And guess what? They're gonna be really bad. I'm just gonna go buy a bunch of T-shirts from not Target because I'm boycotting their ass. I'm going to Walmart and I'm just gonna write it in Sharpie, and then I'm
Shouldn't
gonna
we
send
also
you that shirt.
boycott Just where can we get a shirt without there being any major corporation that's doing horrible things to humans?
Okay, that's fair. Walmart was not the best example.
I'm gonna start knitting. So 255. Somebody's getting a fucking t-shirt.
Someone's getting a T-shirt. Knit by
That's
McKylan.
That's right.
Drawn on by
Hand
me.
knit, McCylan.
Smells like Evan. Your innocence has not been lost.
That's right. It's very intact. McCarthy's in shambles right now at my innocence.
Classic McCarthy.
Well, the second journey, all of them. Mac, you good, dog?
Just McCarthy being like, son of a bitch. I can't make this guy sad. Oh, I can't just teach this guy that nothing matters and we're all going to die.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Because when someone asked McCarthy about his other very depressing but brilliant book, The Road, he's like, it's not a sad tale. What are you talking about? Like, he would argue this isn't sad. He'd argue
What a dick. What a dick thing to do.
He'd be like, that's just the way things go. What's sad about that? There's actually hope in it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess.
just being real. This is just real. Before I do any bit further, I really love Cormac McCarthy, and I think he's an amazing writer. Oh, I'm so real. It's not sad. It's just what life is, guys. That's him smoking a cigarette like a dick. I'm just being real.
Just being real. You can't handle it.
That's right.
Get out of the kitchen, out of the Mexican kitchen that's near Texas or something. I don't know.
Well said. All right. So the second journey also ends in heartbreak. Boyd falls in love with the girl, and in a violent confrontation trying to get the horses back, is shot and gravely wounded. Billy manages to get him onto a truck of farm workers bound for a distant town, and who show up like it was their job to find somebody who'd just been shot and take them to a distant town. They're just so excited. They're just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why he got shot. I don't know if you're in the wrong, but we're ready.
Yeah, they're thrilled to save this dying boy. And like, thank goodness this is the second car in the whole thing, and thank goodness it was there when they needed it.
Yep. Correct. Well, they're forced to flee from their pursuers. After a desperate escape, Billy is left alone, having lost track of his brother completely. He has to find him because they get separated. Billy stays on the horse, Boyd goes on the truck, and Billy's just like, I hope Boyd is still alive. He prays for the first time that he can recall, but he doesn't know really like how to pray to God, so he prays to Boyd and says, please be alive. Like, I don't want you to die. You're all I have. And so he searches for him, and while searching for him, he wanders until he finds the home of a blind veteran of the Mexican Revolution and his wife. And she recounts her husband's story. And this part, I got my little sticky notes out, and I've got a whole bunch of them at this part. But Kyle, what'd you think of like the blind man?
So sorry, before we talk about the blind man, like Boyd has become a legend because I don't remember exactly what happens, but they confront these adults and Boyd does something to one of these adults that's chasing them. He sticks his fingers in the guy's horse's nose. The horse rears back, falls on the guy, and breaks the guy's back. And he was like a local bad guy. So now that's one of the reasons he's kind of a legend is because he did this really crazy badass thing where he broke this adult man's back. And so I wanted to add that in because it was really cool. But so now, people adore him and they love him. Back to the blind guy. This part was insane. The blind guy's story is so insane. Because how does one get blind, you might ask? Probably not some giant German guy sucking out his eyeballs. Well, that's exactly what happens.
That's exactly, yes, correct. And it talks about like his vision fading, but like the cords, like the optic nerve was still attached. So he's like, he only saw like the dust and other man's boots scurrying past, and he saw his own mouth, and he tried to put him back in, but it didn't work. And then slowly the eyes dried up, and he never saw light again. It's just crazy.
They're just dangling on his cheeks as he loses vision. It's just so crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. What? Wait.
Yeah, let's.
What? That doesn't make any sense. His eye. So okay.
Is that physically possible?
Let me try. Let me give this a. Let me give it a try. Not to that, but to understand. So this guy sucked. He just sucked on his eye socket so hard that it just dislodged the eyeball from the socket. He didn't chew it up and swallow.
Yeah.
And so this guy just had dangly.
Right.
He just sucked him right out.
He spits him out.
So initially, the guy thinks he's going in to kiss him and embrace him, but nope, he sucks his eyeballs out one after the other.
Here's my thing. How does the second one happen?
Because he's clearly freaking out after the first one, right? Oh, he's bound.
Maybe you could suck out one of my eyeballs, but there's no way you're getting your hands on me again to get the second eyeball.
I can
There's
barely.
no way.
He's a very large German
I'm
man.
biting. Germans aren't RoboCop. Like, how are you not? What are you doing, man? You let him suck hard enough, because it's not like a one suck. It's not just a one pump. Just got your eye, got your other eye. There's no way that it didn't take I'm giving you 45 seconds per eye. How do you not?
You really gotta hold that suction.
And you're right. Even if he's tied down, he's wiggling around like crazy.
Yeah, how do you not fight? Get your head loose, or is it like overtime? Oh God, oh my God, this is just okay, whatever. Continue.
So, but I mean, I guess technically you could call BS because Billy doesn't witness this firsthand. The guy just tells him about it. And he's like, that's how I lost my eyes in the most dramatic, terrible way possible. And Billy, as he is, he's just like, okay.
Yep. A little bit of background, though, just to set the scene around how did this happen. They have lost, the Mexican revolutionaries have lost, and they've got them lined up. And they're basically renounce the revolution or we'll shoot you. And then just one by one, their people are either renouncing the revolution or getting shot. And then when it's his turn, the German guy goes up to him for some reason, and he's like, don't make the mistake of dying for a cause that's already lost. And he's like, go to hell. And then he's like, okay, here we go. And then he sucks out his eyes. But he doesn't shoot him.
No, he doesn't. So, he says, he's like, it was an act of mercy, him sucking out my eyeballs and leaving them dangling on my sweet little cheeks. That was an act of mercy, actually, because I'm still alive. What do you think about that, McKylan?
Yeah. It makes sense.
Come on.
Historically, Germany, these guys are terrible. Top to bottom for so long.
Dude, and this was before World War II.
They were just starting here. Oh my God.
What were they doing, by the way?
Yeah, why was there
Does anybody know?
I think they almost explain it. They kind of allude to it, but I'm like, what would a German man be doing to help a revolution in Mexico? I was very confused. To be fair, I don't know the history of Mexico at all. So to some people, it might be obvious.
Period. Yeah.
But
All right, bibliafools@gmail.com. Tell us if you know, why were there Germans in Mexico circa 1938?
Also,
We didn't want them
No,
there.
while
I
you're
don't-
doing that, just how long does it take to suck out an eyeball?
And is it physically possible?
Is it possible? Well, how much suction does it take to pop an eyeball out of the socket?
This guy's got to have the gnarliest cheeks you have ever seen to just, like he's got to have suction power. But imagine that power.
I was just gonna say that because, like, with great power comes great responsibility.
And he's like, and now I can't see, and all the world is darkness. Then it goes back to the wife, and she's like, yeah, but the worst part is...
But weirdly, he won't tell that story.
Yeah, he keeps that part to himself. He keeps waxing poetic about your relationship with God.
He's like, wait. It's so
It's
dark.
so dark. Oh, I couldn't see anything.
God took my eyes so I could see the truth. But what happened to your...
I think there's a good edit of that.
We'll
We'll
find
see.
something.
I'm gonna ruin our
Yeah,
lives.
don't make
be
us
great.
lose our livelihoods, please.
But so genuine question. So you said that you had to do
Yes.
a bunch of post-its for this part. So they meet this veteran of the Mexican Revolution,
Yeah.
yada yada. Super great, Cormac McCarthy.
You want to hear some
I want
let's-
to hear a couple of the
Sure,
give
so-
me the greatest hits of the post-its.
So is this the sage that stood out to you? Because the sage that stood out to me was the ex-Mormon guy just kind of bopping around the church.
So you burned your sage wood early.
Yeah, this is my first sage. So I guess that would be Soraya if we're going with Ocarina of Time references, because she's the first sage that he meets. It's not stupid. I'm not a virgin.
To be fair, I played with the action figures in junior year of high school. So when I call you a nerd, I mean it from a place of a nerd.
This is a true story. I was with my nieces and nephews at my parents' house with all the action figures, and I saw one. I'm like, this is definitely one I stole from McIsland.
It's so funny because I have a bunch that I stole from you. I remember thinking that during COVID. That was wild.
We just didn't
We
tell
were
each
just like
other.
sneaking. I remember going over to your house and we were like getting ready for a movie, and I was just like, "All right, you got your jacket? Is your jacket in here?" And I'd go in there and sneak
Just
one in my
take some.
pocket.
And we were only stealing action figures.
And we had driver's licenses. We were trying to talk to girls, and then we're stealing action figures from each other. Oh God! You know, when I look back on my life, I'm like, I don't know if it's a story anybody will want to hear, but it's funny.
It's funny. Okay.
All right, Ev, do you got your?
Yeah, so here's a little quote just to give you a taste of what's going on in the entire book. This is the blind man talking. It was the nature of his profession that this experience with death should be greater than for most. And he said that while it was true that time heals bereavement, it does so only at the cost of the slow extinction of those loved ones from the heart's memory, which is the sole place of their abode, then or now. Faces fade, voices dim. Seize them back, speak with them, call their names. Do this and do not let sorrow die, for it is the sweetening of every gift. So he's talking about, like, he's comparing the loss of his memories. Like, he forgot what the world looked like. He forgot, like, slowly he just forgot how everything looked and the differences of the colors from each other. And he just says that, like, when you're grieving, it's sorrow, but if you stop grieving, it's because you forgot. So he's saying, like, don't try to hurry grief because that means you still have the memories of what you lost. So anyways, that's why the blind guy, I was like, man, this is, I'm getting real sucked into this.
Yeah, you're getting sucked in like powerfully. No,
I'm just getting sucked.
Do not
okay.
reference something we have to cut.
Okay, that's fair. That's very
The
smart.
producer hat just went on.
No, I do love that part because it goes to a thing I believe that has been talked about by Stephen Colbert of all people, that like what
That was the Keanu Reeves Stephen Colbert thing, wasn't it?
well yeah, it's the Keanu Reeves, but then he did an interview with Anderson Cooper where he talks about how like his family died, like his dad and brothers died in a plane crash, and he says like what sorrows are not just actually gifts from God. And it's a hard thing to realize, but it's very similar to what this guy's saying. It's good to think about, but man, it's a hard pill to swallow for sure.
It's definitely I don't know about you guys. I feel like we've talked about this before, but I definitely am of the belief that like most of your memory is the bad things. So if you in a weird maybe I'm saying this wrong, but like you have to remember those things because you'll remember it better. Like a good trip is only good if something bad happens, because now, not saying that the whole trip has to be bad, but like that will make you remember it. Like bad
Interesting.
things aren't actually just bad. Like an inconvenience or something bad happening is kind of a gift because now you're going to remember that forever. Because that's our coding, that's our DNA, is to remember for safety. You remember bad things, but now we've gotten into this place where we're so safe all the time. So when a bad thing does happen, you know, you miss your train, it was hard to get somewhere, you had an uncomfortable conversation, you'll remember that better, and that actually kind of like paints your life in this beautiful picture, even if it's you have to choose to remember it that way. To
Interesting.
choose to remember
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Interesting. I agree with you, Mac. I think it's never balanced. I think it's either the happy things or the sad things. More often than not, the sad things.
But that's what paints in this thing. Like,
Yeah,
when bad
because
things are happening to you, the good things kind
but
of pop.
yeah,
in a
you're right. The
weird
good
way,
things are
right?
like lighter than ever before. You know, you're totally right. Okay, I love that.
When bad shit's happening, that means whatever good happens to you is going to be the best.
Yeah, it's gonna be brighter than ever.
There you go. Well, following the encounter, Billy finds his brother in a village where the farm workers have been tending to him. Realizing the gravity of Boyd's wound, Billy makes a desperate all-night ride to Casas Grandes to fetch a doctor. The doctor successfully treats Boyd, who slowly begins to recover. During this time, Billy watches as his brother and the girl fall deeper in love. He leaves them for a few days, and when he returns, they're gone, having taken one of the horses and disappeared together into the vastness of Mexico, leaving Billy truly and utterly alone.
It's just kind of one thing after the other, but it's just kind of natural. That's how life happens. That you know, your brother, who you spent your whole life trying to save and protect, he's going to go off on his own way and leave you kind of wondering what the heck happened. And that's exactly what's going on with Billy now. He's like, what do I do now?
So he goes back to America, and spends the next several years as a solitary wanderer. He drifts between ranch jobs, always feeling like an outsider, a ghost from a bygone era. He tries to enlist in the army to fight in World War II because he gets back and it's like World War II is happening and he didn't know about it, but he's rejected because he has a heart murmur. So he goes and tries to get a second opinion, and that doctor's like, nope, they'll find it down the line, like I can't pass you. So he can't join the army, and he's just waiting. He's kind of bouncing around from job to job, hoping that Boyd is one day going to reappear, and that hope slowly erodes with the passing of time, and he becomes adrift, disconnected from the structured world he was born into.
This is one of, like, in a sad book, this is one of the sadder parts where he's like, oh, there's a war going on. Like, I can justify dying in a way. And so he's like, I'll enlist. It's very honorable to enlist. And they're like, no, you got a heart murmur. And, like, they just won't take him.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is go and kind of die in this kind of honorable way. He doesn't have much going for him, but he can't even do that. It's pretty damn sad.
It's just so real. It's just the story's so real.
It's so real.
It's not
It's so-
sad. I don't know why you think it's sad. It's just real.
It was,
man.
there was, I like the first time he meets one of the doctors, he's like, you don't got flat feet, do you? And he's like, no. He's like, good, because they can't take you if you got flat feet. I'm like, man, I didn't know how choosy they were in World War II. I was surprised.
Obviously, you've
And
never
then-
seen Captain America: The First Avenger.
I did, but he was like
That's
a
right.
broomstick of a man. Of course they're not going to take them. Like he's not.
That's right. He's like, I have fought bandits and like dragged a wolf to Mexico when I was 13. I'm pretty sure I can handle a few Nazis. Except the problem though is that they're in like New Mexico. They're closer to the West Coast. So if Billy would have gone into World War II, they would have sent him to the Pacific, and he would have gotten fucked
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Nothing happened over there, right? That was a completely cool. According to all the movies I've seen, that
No.
one was fine.
Everyone came back fine.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great.
Is that how they?
real?
Is that
real
how they did it?
nightmarish.
It was just people on the West Coast who went to the Pacific? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why all the pictures of World War II being over is in New York. You got all the like Navy guys kissing women
'cause
in
they
the
killed
streets
Hitler and
because
they're
on the
like,
other
yeah.
side, on the other side of the world, when the war in the Pacific ended, there was just riots and insane shell-shocked soldiers coming back, lighting things on fire.
Man,
It was, like,
how did I not
picturesque.
realize that? That's crazy.
God, dude,
Yeah.
every 5 minutes I just learned something where I'm just like, I don't know anything about what's actually happened.
No.
So finally accepting that his brother is never coming back, Billy undertakes one last crossing. He eventually learns Boyd was killed in a gunfight and makes his way to his brother's grave. He excavates his brother's bones from the Mexican soil. He builds a sled and begins the long journey home, determined to bury Boyd in his own country. This final crossing is a somber, lonely pilgrimage, a man carrying the last remnants of his family and his past through a desolate landscape.
Yeah, that's how it happens. He puts all his effort into retrieving his only brother's bones and just tries to make peace in whatever's going on with this very rough situation. And he's just doing his best. He's just doing his best the whole time.
If I die in New York, are you guys gonna come get these bones and
Yeah, and I'll do it on horseback. I'll come on horseback.
Yeah, we'll make a sled.
you gonna make a sled? Oh, it'd be
And
tough to get that across
Yeah.
the George Washington Bridge, but I just want to know that you guys are gonna drag my body
yeah, we will.
back to Utah.
And we're gonna do as
Yeah.
Billy did. We're gonna like get your like corpsey bones, like decomposing body, and just kind of carry it around with us because what else are we gonna do? It's what you do.
Kyle's horse is going to get stabbed on the way back, and we'll run into some gypsies hauling an airplane around.
Seems like a tease.
and
Did you? Yeah, please go ahead.
that does happen. I was going to skip that paragraph.
You can't
'cause
skip. You
it's getting
okay?
late.
No, like
You want the gypsies with the airplane?
it's not even the gypsies with the air. It's the fact that he's carrying his dead brother's bones, and then these bandits come up, stab his horse, who has been with him the entire time, stab his horse in the chest, like basically scatter his brother's remains, and just decide not to kill him just for shiggles. And like just when you think it can't get any worse, it does.
Yeah. Yep. It does, because this is Billy Parham, and he's in Mexico, so bad shit's going to be happening. The gypsies come along. They do have an airplane, and they heal his horse, and the horse is fine. Which Nino is the horse, and Nino he's the only one that's there
Yeah.
for Billy.
So when this
Nino's
he's a good horse. So when this dickhead stabs his horse in the chest, I'm like, are you kidding me? You're just gonna take everything this boy loves? But no, fortunately the gypsies come along. Thank goodness. And they heal the horse.
And then he crosses back. After burying his brother in their hometown, Billy's left utterly alone. In the novel's final devastating scene, he encounters a wretched stray dog. He drives it away, throws some gravel after it, and he chases it off. And he goes back to sleep. He wakens to the noonday sun that slowly fades out, and he realizes it's nighttime. He's in New Mexico. He was by the Trinity test. So the illumination of the atomic bomb makes it seem like it's noon, wakes him up, fades out. He realizes it's nighttime, it's stopped raining. He goes out into the immense dark landscape and calls for the dog again and again. But the dog, like his brother, his parents, and the wolf, is gone forever. His calls are answered only by the silence of the void. And that's the end of the book. That's the last page.
I did not register the whole Trinity test part. I was just mad that he was being such a dick to this dog. So thank you for
Yeah, before
bringing
you
that
said
up.
the Trinity test thing, I was like, so this book ends the same way Harry and the Hendersons ends? We don't love you.
That was a good call, Aaron Anderson.
Go and get. The saddest thing that you could ever do is just kick a furry thing back into the woods.
But it's really so damn depressing because the first part of the
John
book,
Lithgow.
John Lithgow, in the role of a lifetime.
Dumbledore.
They don't need to remake Harry. It doesn't matter. It's just so sad because you're like he treated this wolf with all this care, all this love, all this attention, like borderline sacrificed his life for this wolf, and now the saddest dog you've ever seen. He drives it away. It's just, oh my goodness, it's so depressing and sad and somehow real, which makes it somehow so much worse.
And that is the parallel that McCarthy wants you to draw, is look how he was willing to go to the ends of the earth for this wolf, and how he's now crossed the border into adulthood where now he's just bitter. And so Mac, you nailed it pretty early on. It is a loss of innocence story.
No, that was really good, Mac. That was a really good call.
Very astute.
Pretty proud of that.
You were 1 for 3.
That's the.
Because your other 2 calls were, I bet this wolf is a person, and also this is a lot like that carnival book.
Carnival
we read.
book.
I still stand by that. It is like that carnival book. That was also a coming of age story. This one is a loss of innocence story. Both are kind of a similar.
No, we're all wrong, and that's the beauty of it. Apparently, Tom Grady from All the Pretty Horses and Billy pop up in the 3rd book. So I'm really hoping we can get a
Okay.
bit more of Billy that isn't just so damn sad. I doubt it.
No, you
But
just see both of them jump off a bridge
seriously, that's
at
the
different
only
points of
thing.
the book. It's just the main character is
It's about
walking
other
on a
people.
book. He's just like, it takes place in San Francisco, and they're walking across the Golden Gate, and they're just like, hey, what's your name? And it's like, my name's Billy, and he jumps.
He jumps. Yeah.
And then the next part of the book, hundreds of pages later, he's just walking back across, like, on the road or something, where he's just doing a bunch of odd jobs, going back and forth. And he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's like, "My name's Tom."
See ya. I hope
Cormac's
not.
like, "It's not sad, it's real."
It's not sad. It's real.
It's real.
It's real, but Cormac, it's also pretty damn sad. So I don't know.
But I mean, that is the point.
That is the
He
point.
loves the loss of innocence. That's the road. That's all the pretty horses.
Yeah.
He
And
sure
no one
does.
does it better.
Nobody does loss of innocence
Like
like
Cormac.
Cormac McCarthy.
No.
The Crossing is a story about borders, not just the lines on a map, but the ones between innocence and experience, man and nature, and life and death. It's a profound meditation on loss, fate, and the brutal process of coming of age. It ends with a devastating portrait of a man stripped of everything, left only with the weight of his own heart in a vast empty world, a final crossing from which there is no return. What do we think about the book? Kyle, what'd you think of it? It was so vast, and I just feel like I should have taken a year to read this book.
Yeah, I agree. I think the most accurate comparison is that it's like the Odyssey. It very much felt like that, where you can dissect parts of it forever. Like you can really just expand it in 1,000 different ways. And so, after reading that last part where he just kind of kicks the dog to the curb, I'm like, gosh dang, like I just felt so damn sad and so devastated. But then I thought about it, and I thought about all the things he learned, and that he was willing to listen to all these things. And I'm like, there's hope for this kid. As messed up as that sounds, I'm like, there's hope for this kid. I could be proven wrong in the third book, but there was a lot of emotions in this book, and at some point, I'm like, this is just, I don't even want to read this anymore. It's too difficult. But overall, it was beautiful. The writing of it kept me going 100%. I think everyone, if you can, try to read this book, just because it's the best. It's a very good. I mean, anything Cormac writes, it's like, this is how people should write. This is writing at its finest. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I tried not to like it for a while. I was trying to be like, I feel like I like everything. And so I was like, I'm trying to be my critic self. And it just got me. By the end, I was like, man, this is just beautiful. And also, it was like, I felt reading it, especially towards the end, like I feel watching like Miyazaki films, where I'm like, I feel like he's capturing something that's like you can't really put into words. He just like, he draws this portrait. I feel like he's touching something that's like ineffable. I don't know if that's me just being too deep, but I just got a very unique, like, I feel like we're touching that subconscious depths that you can't really articulate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's pretentious as hell, but
Really,
that's
It's a pretentious book. That you
yeah.
should have pretentious feelings.
It's not a it's not
There
a
you go.
perfect book. And if someone told me they don't want to read this, I probably wouldn't try to convince them much, just because I'm like, I get it. I get why this would not be your thing, because it's rough at times. Not just like the content of the book, but it's very deep. And I thought it was fascinating and great, but it wasn't like Jurassic Park, where you're just like, wow, I'm learning a lot and I'm having fun and I'm going on this exciting but sad journey. It's like, it's rough. It's a rough read for sure.
It's definitely. I just saw some quote. I can't remember. I think it was Simon Pegg, but he was talking about how, like, stories and entertainment's a bad word for art, because it's not just supposed to entertain you. And it's funny because I read that today while I was like, oh shit, I didn't read the book. And now I'm like, oh, perfect example. I need to read this, because even from just talking about it, like, it's made me think about stuff that I believe in. And I think that's something that you kind of, even if you don't like it necessarily, it's almost like doing homework, but like homework for the soul, if I can be fucking awful.
No, I love
Like,
that.
Yeah.
But this kind of feels like the thing that's like homework for the soul, where it's like sometimes you do have to look into the void and like feel kind of shitty, because then you understand what that feeling is, and it's not a surprise when you feel it for a real reason. It's practice. And so I will, of the books that I haven't read that I've said I will read, this one's going right before Strange Creatures, or whatever the fuck. But You know, like it's the same thing as being entertained with like Superman is like it makes you feel happy for a couple hours. This makes you feel sad for a couple hours and you're happy after. It's like it does the same effect. So I think finding that is good. And I will be reading this. And it was nice to, despite being in a bad mood and being tired, this podcast has been that exact same experience, which is fun because that's what this kind of podcast has become for me. It's just
That's great.
whatever book we're reading, I just put myself into the experience of it. And you're welcome, listener. I'm doing this for you.
You're doing it for
I'm not
you.
doing it because I want to talk to my friends and make money for chatting.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're not doing it.
We're not making
money.
shit.
We're not making any, and I'm doing it because I like to talk to my pals. This actually makes me think of, you know, when you're like in a really shitty place and you're really sad, and then you put on a sad song, you know, like it's that is the feeling like that. Everybody does it, and it's like this unconscious thing of like, let me lean into the turn, like let me.
And it doesn't make it better,
But it doesn't.
But it makes it feel like
feels right,
balanced.
Yeah. It's a good feeling, despite the feeling being worse, in a weird way. And I think that's now I'm just being existential because I need to sleep. But that's something that like I think we need more of. I think everybody needs. I know I need more of it. I've stopped doing that as much.
I need it.
Yeah. I think if more people sat down and read Cormac McCarthy books, as weird as this sounds, like I think the world would be a better place because, like, it's not an easy read. It takes attention, it takes focus, but like you just see the world differently. Like,
Good thing this was written. You know, it's almost like it's a piece of art that almost seems like it was like found, not created. Like it was there. You know, it's like almost like you just had to have somebody go get it. You know, Michelangelo's David. It's just like that was in there. You know, but it's like I don't know. Cormac McCarthy, I think, well-deserved level of praise. All right. Well, what did we think of it? We talked about that. Book in one word. I'm going to say haunting.
I'll say brutal.
FOMO.
All right, good. Well, read it yourself. Leave it on the shelf. We're going to read it. I think it's all a read it, a resounding read it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, another book in the books. Thank you, Cormac McCarthy, for living your life and writing your books. Rest in peace to you. And also thank you for thank the sponsor, Hoover Vacuums.
Because if you can't suck it with a Hoover,
you can find some German guy, but that won't make sense because we're cutting it.
Yeah, maybe. Follow us on Instagram at BibliaFools. If you have a book request, email us, bibliafools@gmail.com. Follow the show on Spotify. Kyle, got some parting advice for us?
Yeah, life is everything. Life is the Superman film. Life is full of hope, and life is also this book. And more often than not, it's in the middle, and that's okay. And it's still a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's my parting advice.
See you next week.
Bye. Love you.